How you doing today, YouTube? Today I wanted to go through and show you my PlayStation 1 collection and some of the games that I have for my PlayStation 1. I don't have a lot of them because, like I said before, I just recently started building back on my collection for certain systems and genres. But I just wanted to go through and share with you what I got so far. Suggest some games for the PlayStation 1 if you know any good titles that I should play, especially RPGs or action RPGs or just basic action adventure games. But let's get into it. The first game I'm going to start off with is Metal Gear Solid. I absolutely love this game for the PlayStation 1. This is what got me into the Metal Gear Solid series. When Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, I did buy it for the PlayStation 2. I loved it as well, even though it wasn't as in-depth as this one. And then Snake Eater, I literally just played that one this year. I loved it too. I didn't give it a chance at first, is because it was different. They changed it. You were in the jungle, you weren't inside of a compound of facilities. But this Metal Gear right here, I absolutely love it. I love the whole concept of it. The story of it was very driven, action-packed. The plot, the twist, the mystery of it, everything about this game I loved. It is complete with the manual. Both game discs are basically brand new to good condition. A lot of things about this game that a lot of people don't know is that you have to have it complete in order to do certain things in the game. Like on the back they have a thing with a codec where you have to contact Meryl and it gives you the codec number. It explains how Psycho Mantis, in order to beat him, you gotta switch the game controller to the second port because he could read your mind and all your moves, and he also tells you your progression in the game. That's not necessarily on the back to explain that part, but you'll figure that one out. Great game. Sega Rally Cross 2. This is a port over from the Sega Saturn as well, but not part 2, it's part 1, but I absolutely love this game as well. Back in the day, 989 Studios used to make a lot of great games, such as football games, hockey games. They were basically the biggest franchise out there when it came to sports, but this driving simulator is very good. I want to get into it again, play, even though it's kind of outdated and the graphics are outdated, but it's one of the classics because they don't make this no more, this type of series or sequels for it. So I'm glad I have that in my collection. A game that I picked up because it was very cheap is Animaniacs. It's not complete. It's just basically the game disc inside of a blank case. But it was very fun. I played it for like 5-10 minutes. At the menu screen, when you go through select the options, they have like a little beat thing, and it like makes noises. So I just sometimes sit there for like 5 to 10 minutes and just make coordinated noises into beats and melodies. It's very fun. One of the first games that I ever played for the PlayStation 1, and my mom had got me. It was Independence Day. I seen this again, so I got it for nostalgia value. Very glad I got it. I very much enjoyed this. A lot of people bash this game and say they dislike it because of the graphics, and a lot of people say they don't like the movie. But I really enjoyed the movie, and I really enjoyed this game a lot. It was one of my favorite alien fighters at that time. You know, the whole concept of it hasn't been done yet, and then all of a sudden Star Fox 64 came out, and Star Fox 64 blew away every airplane simulator game during that time in that genre. So I'm really glad I got this. Another great rally game when it comes to off-roading was Mobile One Rally Championship. This game was more in-depth of a driving simulator, more realistic. The cars in here from the companies and the franchises went on par at that time when the business was booming. But if you ever want another good rally game with good tight controls and an overall great feel of a game that won't get repetitive and it won't get boring, that always has new challenges, I definitely recommend this one. A classic game that I got because I remember when I had first played an Atari when I was little. I never liked the Atari, but I had so many games for it, and I had so much time and hours that I put into playing them, even though the games I couldn't comprehend and I couldn't get. But one game I had to get was Asteroids again. This is actually a very fun game for the PlayStation 1. The port of it from the Atari system, if you play the Atari version, it's really outdated, but if you get this one, you'll definitely have hours of fun with it. It's very challenging. You can actually move around your little spacecraft, and it actually has a design for the spacecraft and just a square. I mean, not a square, a rectangle. Not even a rectangle, a triangle. See, messed up 3 times. But it actually has the triangle that looks like a spaceship now, and you can move it around the screen and use boost packs and certain weapons and upgrades. So it was a good game. Another good fighting game that I believe was a good fighting game that many people would disagree with me on is Bile Freaks. I like this fighting game because at the time when Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and everybody else was dominating the market, they really didn't have a game where it was about mutated beasts to fight one-on-one in an arena. It's 3D, just like Tekken, so you can actually go around the ring and you can actually move your character. But here's the special part about it: all the characters have special weapons, melee weapons, and they have machine guns and projectile weapons. So I really much enjoy playing this game. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would recommend this game to anybody that's into fighting games and can give it a chance and have the patience for it. It's not as fast paced and the action's not as fast, but you definitely can get into it and play it. Collector's edition of 007, Tomorrow Never Dies. They say there's not really that many great James Bond games on a PlayStation 1 besides, actually there's really not really that many great ones on the PlayStation 1, but the Nintendo 64 one actually was the one that took off and became a huge success. And here's a fact that most people don't know: when they made the James Bond 007 for Nintendo 64, the market, everybody thought it was going to be a failure, and nobody really backed that game, and it ended up being a major hit. Even the developers thought it wasn't going to be a hit. But this game right here actually is pretty fun. The controls are tight. The graphics are the only thing that's outdated. If they made a revamp of this game and kept the same concept, it's actually a very good game. The hit detection from the guns, the way that James Bond moves around, just the overall concept of the missions is very, very fun. It's like playing a 3D third-person view of Dark, what's that game for the 64? I don't even remember, but it's Dark something. I'll remember probably later on after this video is I'm making. But this is a very good game right here. I highly recommend it if you want a good James Bond game, because I don't really make that many good James Bond games now, even now in the current generation, so I highly recommend that one. Next one is Jump Pack. This was actually the first time that I ever had played Metal Gear, was on this demo disc. Not this specific one, but it was this demo disc for this month. It has a lot of great games on it: Spyro the Dragon, Medieval, Metal Gear, A Bug's Life, Cool Borders, NHL Face Off 99, NFL Game Day 99, Rallycross 2, Tomb Raider 3, Adventure of Lara Croft, and Small Soldiers. So basically, a lot of people got this demo disc right here because Tomb Raider 3, they wanted, to experience that game again, because at that point in time, Tomb Raider was one of the best games out there besides Resident Evil. But this was actually the first time that I ever played Metal Gear Solid, and I loved it. And the concept of the game, like I said before, when I was going over the Metal Gear that I had at the beginning of the video, loved it. Cubics Racing, Robots for Everyone. It's basically like a Mario Kart ripoff, but it's not as good as Mario Kart, but it's still tons of fun. You can sit there and play it for hours, have fun with it. It gives you a nostalgic feel, takes you back to your childhood, gives you stuff to reflect on. I absolutely enjoy this game. The only other game that I loved from the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64, besides Ready to Rumble, because Ready to Rumble is an amazing boxing game, the concept of it, the graphics, just the whole mechanics of the game, was Contender. Contender is a more easy to pick up and play game. It's not as fast paced and it's not as detailed, and the characters, are polygonic looking, but I guarantee you'll have fun with this game if you just want something to pick up and play if you're bored. It's also a good thing to have on your PSP. Buy it from the PlayStation Store and port it to your PlayStation Portable, and you have tons of fun with it. Just a boxing on the go. And Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis is a great game. It's one of the best action survival horror games. A lot of people overlook this because they compare it to the Resident Evil franchise, which it is comparable because it's made by the same people and the same developers at that time. But I have never beat this one, but I have beaten Dino Crisis 2. Dino Crisis 3 for the Xbox, to me, in my opinion, it wasn't good at all. But this is a great survival horror game. This can compete with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 in my sense. I wanted to got it because I never beat it. I wanted to go back through it, enjoy the game again, and I really absolutely love Dino Crisis. The first time I have ever played this game originally was for the Sega Dreamcast, because at that point in time I had a Sega Dreamcast and I was into Resident Evil, so I missed it when it came out for the PlayStation. But now that I got it for the PlayStation 2, I'm sorry, not the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 1 again, I'll very much enjoy it. But like I said, I played Dino Crisis 2 for the PlayStation 1, and I enjoyed that one a lot. And last but not least,